Hey everyone, hi Ibi,
Hi,
and
Costa. Hello.
hey. So today we're gonna go straight into our next Gene Keys, which will be Gene Key 27. This is the city of selflessness, the shadow of selfishness, and the gift, the pathway that leads into the city is altruism. And yeah, we had a bit of a pause in between last YouTube, but we're here now and back and raring to go. And so, yeah, we thought we'd discuss this gene key, especially as there've been many things unfolding in my life, as well as in Ibby's life, from taking a pause. I personally took a detox, a cleanse, and Ibby, you can share your experience perhaps, but also taking a time away from the computer and going into matters to bring out your beauty and love and imprints, as you say. So with this gene key, it's well aware that what we see in the world today with selfishness, there's a lot of it around. We don't need to talk much about it in terms of what we see and how people are very much self-centered. But I do want to mention that with the gene keys at its core essence, it is about helping you embrace your higher purpose. So gene key 27 is very much when you're not embracing your higher purpose. So that's why you are selfish. You don't know what your purpose is. So you're looking at very much at the micro level. And especially if your awareness is based on survival, you are only thinking about the means to feed yourself. So it has this element of food, the theme of food into this, but it's not really about survival. It's about thriving. And the way that we can start to go into our purpose is to start to go into our suffering, into our shadows, so we can then fully embrace that. So this dilemma that we have with this key is about consideration, specifically about considering others. So when we're in the shadow of selfishness, we don't consider other people. We just think for ourselves, and our field is in some ways blocked, or closed off or blinded, because our reality is, oh, we only think for ourselves. It doesn't think about the other person. Our scope, like in a circle in a field, we don't see another side, another dimension, from another person's perspective. And so when we cross that threshold to think, well, no, there's more to life than just me, this is when things become very interesting, because this is, for me, I see as when you start to open your heart and you start to open your mind, rather than what we would see in relationships these days, unfortunately, in decline, is becoming more very transactional. I give something to you, I expect something in return. Whereas the art of being generous, the art of being selfless, is very much about unconditional giving, meaning there is a condition, in fact, because it just means the world, the universe will respond to you. You just don't know how, and you don't know when. And one of the things that you start to realize, especially with altruism, is when you start to become more generous in your nature, as you start to become more detached. So you don't hold on to things as much. And this is the beauty of being able to even give to someone else, or something, without expecting something in return, is that the very act of doing something, in that nature, will allow you to detach in time, because you don't need to hold on. The very thing or the situation or the person isn't who you are. And this is also why it's very good to see that the city is not like the stepping stone of the gift to get to the city. The city is already operating in the gift level. And the gift level is all about being able to bring out the action of that gift, so that it becomes the city. So the action of the city of being selfless is the action of being altruistic, which is, yeah, just give for the sake of giving. I don't expect anything back. There is no mind games. There can be a strategy. The strategy is, yeah, let me give as much as I can. And at the same time, if because most people have traumas and wounds and patterns, and the whole gene keys is about how you can transform this by giving without expecting anything in return. You can use the strategy of just being able to give, and just noticing how your environment will change because of it. In my, for example, situation right now, I do a lot of volunteer work. I help out with homeless people. In Brussels, I do supervising with washing and people's clothes and vans, and I find it so rewarding. It's so nice because people really need it. And people don't think about this, that, like clean clothes for homeless people, we tend to think of, let's give them some food or some money. But just the nature of taking someone's clothes in, putting in the wash, and being able to transform it, like purifying it, is such a rewarding experience for me. I just want to keep doing it. And so some days it can get very tiring, but at the end of the day, I think, no, this is very fulfilling. It's such a nice feel to be needed, and for others who also need this service, that you're providing something in return. So I also do like lots of food deliveries for people. I also do partitioning of foods in kitchens, and it's just such a nice experience to see that it's helping other people. And so this idea of generosity is, from my understanding, is there is no boundary anymore. Everyone is one. All is one. So someone who's lacking, um, you have to give to that person, or I choose to give to that person consciously because it's helping me. If I provide hurt, if I provide too much from providing lack, I'm restricting myself as well. I'm hurting myself. And what we see in the world today with this idea that there is scarcity is completely and utterly false. Like just off camera, Ibi and I were discussing about my sort of detox, natural supplements that I've been using, and one of them is the kefir method with fermented, beautiful, natural, nutritious way of helping cleanse the body through using this whey product, bullet of whey, and the ability of it being able to last. It can take up to a year. You can store in the fridge and still use it, which is great for digestion, great for immune system. Just shows the power of just one herb. It's based off celandine herb that you put into mineral water and add some full cream milk and some sugar. Will last a year in the fridge. So, oh, this is great. I mean, what a natural remedy. And so looking all around us, there is energy, there is power, there is life, there is abundance. And we just need to tap into that. And that way of tapping into that is to remain open-hearted. And when there are things that become maybe too fearful or too challenging, um, just stay in that process, stay there, because the staying there is allowing yourself to be whole. If we're going to avoid something, which in Jinki's terminology is very much like a line three, we're just dancing in the void. We're not going through it. And so this idea of selfishness is like, if we just remain selfish and scarce and thinking of lack, we don't go through the threshold. We need to meet it. We need to feel the burn. We need to feel the lack or the hunger. And this detox that I did was a reminder that once you get off it, like, oh my God, I'm just brimming with life. It's like, yeah, everything is alive, everything's electric, everything is waiting for things to happen. And so this gift of altruism is the becoming. It's the becoming of who you are. And then the city of selflessness is the being. That's who we are naturally. We are creatures of being, of generosity. So generosity is to generate. So generate the goodness, give of your heart, give of your love. There's always that saying, would you rather operate out of fear or out of kindness or out of love? Or every time you're seeing a situation that's arising, the question you can always ask yourself is say, well, what would love do? If ever you're just indecisive, what would love do? And that is always from this aspect of giving, and then you'll receive. So yeah, this key is very, very potent in my life. And it happens to be also, I have it in one of my spheres. If you do the star pearl, you have these three new keys. I have this key, the 27, in there. Happens to be also in a line 5, which is also very much a leadership key, which is crystallized. So I'm fully aware of it. I can see how it operates also in vocation, which also happens to be the woundings that we can also have around money, the different traumas that we can have around money. And ideally, it's about this feeling, false feeling, that we are separate. We're separate. Okay, we have a body, but looking deeper in the body, nothing is separate. Everything is moving. Everything is particles tossing and turning around. And it's just one wave, or not even a wave, actually. Even that's not entirely accurate. But ideally, that's not entirely accurate. Only when you put your influence on it does it become a wave. But That's a side to it. And so the point I'm making is when we remove the separation and we operate from care, from this higher dimension, we see the flowering seed of where we need to go in terms of our modeling of nature. And it's about the gift economy. The gift economy, which is you give unconditionally, you give where it's rewarded, you give where there's the merit, you give where people feel their need for support. And the more you do this on a daily basis, on small things, with your mind, with your thinking, with your words, with your actions, not using divisive talk, or being able just to be there in your presence around something, not even to speak, can have such a lasting effect on the person that you don't know, you're aware about. So take heart that wherever you are is the right place to be. And this this feeling that you're going through, whether it's survival or desperation or struggle, is a passing. And that passing can be uplifted just by you looking after yourself. And by looking after yourself is by helping another person. So it'd be, yeah, I'll leave it there.
Thank you, Costa. That was a powerful flow of transmission and opening and covering this beautiful archetype that contains, in a way, for me, the secret of life. And as you said, um, is a generated generosity is generating life force or distributing life force, and this key or this gate in human design is in the sacral center. So it is a key that gets activated through response, and it has to do with this word care. So I was contemplating what care means and what consideration means. And care is really when you first care for yourself and you acknowledge in a way that you received life, and you received it in a generous way. You didn't pay for it, and you didn't you were not asked to do anything. Life and abundance of nature is always for free, and there are so many essential things that we are taking for granted, and they are generously offered to us. And even when you feel you don't have something, you lack money or you lack something in your life, it's coming for you to become aware of how many other things you do have. Like you do have time, as you said, you are offering your time by volunteering and responding to real needs that are in society, or for the real needs of the people who are less fortunate, or they didn't have these shiny trajectories. And it's interesting how this shift in the mindset and in the way, in the attitude, in the perspective you have from being in a tight place where you don't have enough for yourself, you don't have resources or money, or you are not feeling abundant. And by shifting your awareness towards what you can give, what you can offer, instead of what you are not given, what you do not receive, is just activating these currents in the body. suddenly it opens up the meridians, and especially it opens up the field of the heart, which is always generous, which is always able to bring love and care and empathy towards the other. And what's really happening there in the lack, in the feeling of lack, is you're looking to find your purpose, a higher purpose that is worth your existence, that is worth your energy to be invested in. And this is the programming partner, the Jinki 28, who is always looking to find the higher purpose, to meet that and transcend that fear of death and fear of the small, little, meaningless life, and to go through the timelessness and really find that immortality, that spirit that is always brought into a form, but is also eating and being nourished by everything that's around, and also being the food for others. We are always pouring ourselves into the others through relationships, through our communication, through our actions, through our thoughts, through what we think of ourselves and others. This is also food. This is also what we are feeding inside. And what we can do is to connect to the purity of this essence that's flowing through us and what is available. For example, instead of eating a big quantity of food or needing a lot of food, you can connect to the purity. You can go outside in the morning and just drink the dew and feel the purity that is in that manna, in that pure water that was touched by the stars. Or you can connect deeply to the food in the ways that are opening up the higher senses, and you don't just feed your physical body, but you are feeding your etherical body through all these aromas that are available. If you are present with what, and you are going through that urge, uh, that hunger, is really to see what is your motive, why you are doing something, why you are giving something, why you are saying something, or acting in a certain way. What is your secret agenda? And just recognize that patterns that are wanting attention or recognition. You can do charity and a lot of good intentions, and or be at available to everyone, and just draw your energy, but feeling inside a deep resentment or this martyrdom, that you are giving too much and nobody is seeing you, nobody is recognizing you, nobody is valuing enough what you are doing. Or maybe you want to be seen as a good person, as a generous person, as always being there for others, but in the end, when there is this transactional exchange, when you expect something in return, when you expect even the universe to pay you because you gave, but is this feeling of trading, that's never going to work. It's actually when you find um, the compassion towards yourself, that you are not selfish towards your own body. You are taking good care of your body. You are purifying, you are listening to it, you are nourishing it. And then also the boundaries, the healthy boundaries. You are not there to be always responsible for others. Responsibility comes from this channel with a Jinki 50, which makes in human design this connection to the spleen. And I have the Jinki 50, and Jinki 50 is bringing the values and is bringing, in a way, the conditioned values and the conditioned responsibilities, the duties. And when you are acting and giving your time, your care towards children, elders, your partner, or your friends, from this feeling of responsibility as a duty and not the ability to respond with your consideration, with your care to a real need, to something that was asked or you saw or you can do, but through giving it freely, really not entangled or attached to any agenda or expectation. That's when you create this balance, because the 27 is bringing this healing property. And when you heal the selfishness, the little self, so we need the self as a vehicle, as an identity, or the roles we are taking in our communities, in our life, but they are not defining us. It's actually life working through us. And we are meant, is a part of the codon ring of life and death. So we are meant to go through this cycle of birth, transformation, and death. We are taking food, we are becoming empowered and self-sustainable, and then we are giving back. Is the nature is showing us we are always food for something else, but it is a difference when the frequency of what we are putting out is pure, is refined, is full of love and care, and is not this transactional, then the mathematics, the accountancy of how much you receive and how much you are giving is taken by this universal law, as what Russell is saying in The Secret of Life. There is this rhythmic, balanced interchange. You are giving, but when you are giving light, is this light of the spirit you are giving back, and you are always having enough to give. Abundance is present in every moment. But even in the moment you are feeling lack, you may need something in one area. But what you are needing there is available through balancing what you already have overflowing in excess. So it may be just you have time, or you have something, love that you can put in preparing a meal or something. And we are running out of time, right? I feel abundant in time now. Suddenly.
You're in your zone. You're in your zone.
And so there is the quality, the frequency that we are bringing, this reverence towards life, and knowing that we are always interconnected. We cannot be isolated in our feeling of lack if we are interconnected. Something will happen, something will be brought to us, life will return, will open a door. And this is when life can flow through your meridians. Otherwise, isolation and lack, or martyrdom, or feeling entitled to have more, or accumulating because you want to be safe and to be stable, is not opening your meridians, and the cells are not breathing life. They are blocked. The energy is blocked. The sacral energy is blocked, and life gets smaller and smaller, and the half full glass is becoming drier and drier, so emptier and emptier. So yes, it's a lot to say about this key, but yes, this is what is coming right now.
That's literally on the dot, end of time.
Perfect timing,
Yeah,
right?
end of
Mm,
transmission. Uh,
yes, maybe we will return to this 27 sometimes.
sometimes, yeah, yeah. No, it's great too, because the 27 also, like when you give your heart openly to others, you're actually creating more time as well. That's the strange thing that arises from that, right? So the interconnection to see that with other people is what brings out more of everything, because we're not holding back, like you say. So that's it for today.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. We'll continue with our journey with the remaining keys, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys until next time.
Mhm. Looking forward, and take good care of yourself.